Joining with me is senior journalist and primetime anchor of a very reputed news channel here is Vineet Malhotra. Hi, Vineet. Thank you so much for joining with me on Let's Up. Vineet, I want to ask you one thing. Like you started your journey with sports and gradually you shifted to news. So, what inspired you to take this shift?
Godly, I started with sports, but I always wanted to get into news because sports basically, of course, it's my first love, but it always had limitations in terms of knowledge, in terms of learning more, in terms of doing more. So I always wanted to get into general news, and sports is very exciting. It's fun, but general news was always my cup of tea because I like to keep close to the events that are happening in India and around the world, and I think that prompted me to get into news.
Okay, Vineet, can you just tell me like what's the present scenario of sports, like keeping around the controversies and everything? What you see, how do you look into it? You have been into analysis into that.
Well, there are no controversies in the fact we are a cricket loving nation, Godali, and there is only a controversy or a conspiracy when we lose in cricket. Cricket is a massively popular sport in the country, and it's the darling of our nation. So when we lost to Australia in the first Test match recently, and we were bundled out for 36 runs, it was very upsetting to one and all. And at the same time, when we won the second Test match under the captaincy of Ajinkya Rahane, I think people forgot about that. So in India, people are not actually fond of a particular sport, excluding cricket. People are fond of victories, and we are very unforgiving when it comes to bad losses. And I think otherwise we're doing pretty well in terms of cricket. There are other sports that we need to pick up on. Unfortunately, 2020 has not been a very good year for athletes. They haven't been able to go out and practice. They haven't been able to travel. The Olympics was postponed. All the other tournaments and tourneys have been postponed. But cricket prevailed somehow. But you can't say that for all sports. So it's very hard to answer your question right now. How are we doing in sports? But the fact is that when things resume, then we'll have a better idea as to where we are.
One more thing, like under the leadership, captaincy of Virat Kohli, how do you see the India team right now, presently?
Well, we're doing great. Virat Kohli is fortunate to have good cricketers under him. He's been lucky of sorts not to have to struggle with putting that 11 together. We have all rounders. We have a good tail ender. We have good bowling attack as well. Sometimes our opening and our middle batting order needs to be more defined and more consistent, and that is something that is something that perhaps the BCCI is also worried about. Ravi Shastri is also worried about. But I personally feel that Virat Kohli is a better batsman than he is as a captain, because we have never won an ICC championship under him. So I think I personally feel that Ajinkya Rahane or Rohit Sharma would be better as captains, and Virat Kohli would be better at coming one down and just taking us through. That would also remove a lot of pressures from his shoulders as well, and he'll be able to give us those huge run chases and victories that we so desperately need at times.
Virat is also like involved always into controversy when it comes to Anushka. Like Gavaskar has been dropping a lot of bombshells. Like, how do you see that? Like, he really has that sportsmanship in himself to deal with these controversies and everything, because he's one person who is always rolled into the controversies.
Not true. I mean, he's not riled in controversy. It's just that when you are the captain, Godali, you're the focus of a lot of attention. Everybody's looking at you. And you will have detractors, you will have admirers as well. I mean, that Anushka and Sunil Gavaskar thingy that happened, there was just a comment that Mr. Gavaskar made, and Anushka did not like it. And she responded to it saying that, you can't drag me into my husband's performance. Similarly, you can't drag Virat Kohli if Anushka delivers a flop or if she acts bad in a movie. It's not Virat Kohli's fault. So I think that comment was distasteful. But stranger things have happened in cricket.
One important question I want to ask you, like cricketers joining politics, be it Gautam Gambhir, be it somewhere else. There was rumor also Suresh Raina going to Kashmir, maybe joining hands on this. How do you see to that? What is the reason, like the turnover they need to make it on politics?
You know, a lot of cricketers have joined politics in the past. Azharuddin is one. He was a member of parliament, for the Congress party. Chetan Chauhan, a few other people have also joined politics in the past. I think it's not about sportsmen joining politics. It's about somebody popular getting into politics, and political parties are always on the lookout for popular people. So they don't have to invest in making a candidate popular. They can leverage that person's popularity and garner votes who happen to be sportsmen or film stars or popular in their own respective field. So it could be actors. Smriti Irani was an actor. Babul Supriyo is a singer. There are so many other examples that you can give, that people who have done well in their particular field, including sports, have been approached by political parties so that they can leverage the popularity that they bring. It's all a game about attracting and getting the crowds.
Okay, and like in 2020 has been a very difficult year for each one of them. Like any prediction for 2021, like how they are going to start it off and how the scenario will be? Like it is, BCCI is also taking some of the initiative for that.
Well, I think more sports will come back in 2021. There is also a possibility that other teams will start coming to India, and we'll have trilateral and bilateral series going into 2021. But so far, I think that the major thing that's been missing from sporting events, Godoli, has been the crowds, and especially in the IPL. If that can come back in 2021, and like you said, the BCCI is working on it as well. But the BCCI really does not have much of a choice. They can't do anything about it, because what happens on the cricket field in terms of number of people and crowds is the government's call. If they feel that there is enough inoculation, there are enough people who've been vaccinated, they will let life resume pre-COVID days. But I think we are another 6 months from that, and sporting activities will resume once a number of people have taken the vaccine, and I think we're still away from that. It's going to take another 6 to 8 months.
Okay, one last thing I want to know, like what is the most beauty thing you love about the sports thing? What is that one take of one thing you want to give to? Very different than other genre. It's very different, but one takeaway.
I think the one thing that I loved about any sport is the fact that, unlike a few other fields, there is always room to make a comeback. A film star might never recover from a flop movie, but a cricketer can recover from a bad innings. So is life. Life is very similar to that as well. You can do badly in some stream, and it gives you an opportunity to come back. So I think sports, in a way, is a microcosm, is very similar to life as well. It allows you to come back, and when you do, there's nothing more pleasurable than watching that team or that person make a comeback after having tasted defeat or some sort of a letdown in the past. I think that's the beauty about sport, any sport for that matter. Rafael Nadal came back after breaking his ankle a number of times. So many people came back. Rohit Sharma came back into the Test cricket team because he floundered so many times. And it's only sports that gives you that opportunity. A politician might lose elections and never come back. He might never come back into politics. An actor will, with a flop movie, he will never come back, if he delivers a few flops. But sports is forgiving. That's what I like about it. And gives you more chances.
Thank you so much, Vineet, for joining once again. I really want to thank you and just sharing your views on sports. It was really nice having you.
Thank you, Gaudali.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gaudali. It was nice to meet you.